Good day, YouTube, back with another video here. Now this video is a little different. This is just an issue that I ran into with the 2022 Chevy Silverado that I have. And driving the other day, and the car stalled on me. Did not know why, but it seemed to be a fuel issue. It pretty much died while I was out in traffic, and could not really do nothing until I got the truck home. But as you can see here, I'm trying to get it to start, but the car would try to turn over, but it just would not fire. So I ran my diagnostic tool here, and this is the error code that I got. It's a P129F code here, which is related to the fuel module. And I did look up a couple of videos online on YouTube to see where and how this part can be replaced. And a lot of mechanics and people who actually work on things like this suggested that the tire would have to be lowered, which I did. And I did look around in the back, but could not actually locate this module. So I decided to Google, and this is what Google told me. In a 2022 Chevy Silverado, the fuel pump control and module, also called the fuel pump driver module, is typically located underneath the back driver's side seat. So I did lift the seat and did roll the carpet back, but there's no way to access this module because of the floor pan, unless I was to cut the floor pan out, and that's something that was just not an option for me. I would not do that to this car because it's fairly too new. Now this is the module here that I had to purchase from the dealer. That's a direct fit for the 2022 Chevy Silverado here. So since I have a better idea of where this module could be, it's actually underneath the driver's side rear seat, but on the outside panel of the car. It's actually not inside. So what I'll do, because this part is an electronic part, I'm going to kill all the power to the vehicle, as you see that I'm doing here. Now, rather than to actually work from the back of the truck, I had to access this module on the driver's side underneath the back seat of the car. It's actually not underneath the back seat, but it's underneath the vehicle. And as you can see, there's a little plate here that houses this module that's underneath the car. I had to kind of do a little bit of investigating just to see where and what it could be, but I've taken the new module that I purchased to actually find some sort of module that had the same positioning of the screw mounts, and that seemed to be it there. And with my phone, because it was just hard to actually have access to this module because of the gas tank and also the drive shaft that's running towards the middle, everything was just of arm reach but not visually accessed. So I had to kind of reach my phone up to where the module was to give a better idea of what I was doing here. I could actually feel that I was unscrewing the module, but I could not see that I was unscrewing it because of the position where it's at. Now, after I was able to remove both of the bolts here, as you can see just by rolling it down, I put them side by side just to see if this was the actual part that was similar to the one I got, and bingo, yes it was. And I'll put them side by side just to make sure that they're the both correct and similar parts that I purchased here. Now, because this is an electronic module, it is non-returnable to Chevy. So once you purchase this thing, it's done and final. You cannot return it. But thanks God that just by looking at both of the parts here, they do seem to be similar. And by removing the bolts and not trying to unplug the cable that was connected to it, I found it to be easier to do that just by having the module out. Now, after removing the part, kind of brought it in, and as you can see here, I'm just comparing the two just to make sure that they are the same actual parts by the connections and just by the physical appearance of everything here. And as you can see, both parts are the same. And we'll get that on a truck, and then step by step, we'll see what we have to do here to plug it in, to get it back in, and then see if it actually works. Now, kind of just shaking off the dust so that all of the contacts are not interfered with any debris that would cause any other malfunctions or, reduce the chances of anything going wrong here. But I'll get that plugged up, and it's pretty much just a red snap that I pulled back with a flathead screwdriver, and then that allowed me to actually fold the bear claw grab here that actually locks the cable in place with the module. And it's pretty much just a snap-on, as you can see here, and then once that is snapped on, we pretty much can get it back to the top where it belongs here. Now, if I wanted to, I believe I could have rotated those two screw mounts so that I would be able to actually connect it to the bottom, just in case if next time I ran into this issue again. But I've decided just to mount it the way that it was just mounted to the car, and as you can see, that's what I'm doing here. Now it is mounted, and safety first, YouTube. As you can see here, these are two rubber blocks that I purchased from Amazon. I found them to be real handy when it comes to working on cars like this. I did not have to remove any of the tires or jack the car up, so for safety I pretty much use those to keep the car from rolling, just in case if anything. So we'll get the battery connected to the car, that way we have some power, so I can pretty much just start it up to see if that was the issue that I was having here. Now that the battery is connected here, I'll just put the cap back on, make sure that everything is properly installed the way that it should be. I'll kind of backtrack just to make sure I'm not missing anything. So we'll grab the key here, and we'll see what happens. And I'll pretty much pull out my diagnostic tool again after this, just to see if I have any issues. But as you can see here, YouTube, this was the actual culprit that caused me to have that stall that I had out in traffic, which could have been a dangerous thing if I was over a train track, because the car completely just died on me. And also to say, this car has a 6-inch lift on it, so it did allow me to have better access to replace the part. Now I'm running my diagnostic tool here just to see if I get any codes, which actually did bring up a lot of codes, but the P129, I believe, code that did show up from my first diagnostic test was not present, just had a lot of other stuff. So what I did, I let the car run for 5 minutes, and then all of the codes that actually did present itself while the computer was just doing this thing, I cleared all of the codes, and some of them were just abnormal findings which may need adjustment, like the battery power. Since I tried so many times to get the car to turn over, I believe it might have just sent the signal that maybe the battery power was low. But after that, cleaning out all of the codes, didn't really have much other findings, but just abnormal things that would have to be fixed with just minor adjustments here. But as you can see, the car is running again. It did crank. I did not have any other issues after that. I let it run for 10 minutes and then I pretty much just drove it up and down, and then I let it sit for another 5 hours, and then I came back out and it started again. So that was the culprit of the issue that I had here. So we'll clear out all the codes, and everything just came back okay. But I kind of just wanted to make a video because I called the GM dealer to actually have this done there, and there was almost a $300 diagnostic test that they told me they would have to do, and could not give me a fixed price on the labor because there's so many ways of trying to gain access to this, to where I even I saw some mechanics on YouTube say that you would actually have to lift the bed out of the vehicle just to have good, comfortable access. But this is how I did it, YouTube. This is the issue that I ran into. I wanted to share it with you. For anybody who has this body style Chevy Silverado, and just remember, for this style, you do not have to drop the spare tire. Thank you, YouTube.